How do you know which tool you should use when? Well, that is where wisdom and intuition and guidance comes in. Or if you struggle to access those things, just live and try out things and you'll get experience and you'll learn what works well for you. There are also some perspectives that are only useful at a higher level of consciousness, and other training wheel perspectives that are useful at a lower level of consciousness. For example, the idea that all you need is love and light is the perfect thing to teach to a spiritual novice, because love is so fundamental. But a more spiritually advanced person needs to learn that being kind and loving in the normal way is only the appropriate thing to do 90% or 95% of the time. The other 5 to 10% of the time you should call out dysfunction, or be firm with someone, or not tolerate the intolerable, etc. So, which is the true perspective, that all you need is love and light, or that you need strength and wisdom too? Well, I would advise love and light to the spiritual novice, and I would advise love and strength and wisdom to the more spiritually advanced person who has already learned the lesson of love. Higher perspectives aren't necessarily better than lower perspectives, because higher perspectives often come from non-physical beings, and you don't have the luxury of being non-physical at the moment. Therefore you need to care about lower concerns that higher non-physical beings don't have to worry about. Furthermore, some higher consciousness lessons may be counterproductive if low consciousness people try to learn them. If someone is told that strength is important, before they've learned about the importance of love, then that can encourage jerk-like behavior. Similarly, teaching someone about the concept of flow, if they don't yet have any kind of discipline or good routines, can lead to a situation where the person misuses the concept of flow in order not to do useful, unpleasant things. So, it's best to not focus on which perspective is the one ultimate truth, and instead to see which perspective is useful for you at the present moment. Also, if there seems to be a perpetual culture war between two things, then probably both sides have some good points and some blind spots, and neither side has the ultimate truth, even though one side might be more functional than the other side. So for example, is mainstream left-wing politics or mainstream right-wing politics the one universal truth? Well, neither of them is. Both sides have their strengths and their flaws. Ultimately, mainstream left-wing politics is the unintegrated feminine, and mainstream right-wing politics is the unintegrated masculine, and you can't really throw away either the feminine or the masculine without unbalancing things. Ideally, you have both the left-wing and the right-wing perspective in your toolbox, and you see the strengths and flaws in both, and you can look at the world through either lens. Now, it's entirely fine to think that overall one of the two is currently significantly more functional than the other. It's fine to vote for one of the two. But neither of the two is the ultimate truth. Of course, it's also fine to just not care about politics and to focus on self-improvement or helping people instead. Just because you can gather tools in your toolbox, doesn't mean that you necessarily have to do so. So, in summary, rather than trying to figure out which perspectives are the sole objective truths and which perspectives are objectively false, it's more useful to see perspectives as tools in your toolbox. And you can take them out and use them as needed. Ultimately, words are just man-made concepts anyway. So rather than focusing on whether a particular sentence is the ultimate truth, ask yourself whether a particular sentence is useful for you in the present moment. A good spiritual message can show you a map of the terrain. It can be beneficial to spend some time looking at maps, but ultimately maps aren't the one ultimate truth. Maps are maps, and no amount of staring at maps will bring you ultimate fulfillment. Instead, occasionally look at maps while continuing on your spiritual journey. Walk, breathe, do your spiritual practice, meet your needs, spend time in nature, and follow your intuition and your soul. If you want to know the ultimate truth, sit down in nature and breathe, and feel your connection to everything. That is the ultimate truth. Now, you may need to first let go of illusions and old pain and old concepts to fully appreciate that, and that is what spiritual practice is for. I hope this was helpful. I love you very much and I wish you a very good week. Your star brother, Hakann.